Good morning, everybody. My name is Ken, and I'm the founder of Synchronous Life, synchronouslife.com. This QR code takes you to synchronouslife.com. I would encourage you to go ahead and catch that now because we're going to use the website here in just a minute. We're going to have an interactive session, so if everybody can get their smart devices out and point at the QR code or just type in synchronouslife.com, that would be amazing, and you'll be able to participate fully when we get to that point. What I want us to think about this morning is the mental shift from people pain to business intelligence. I teed this up a little bit ago. Thinking about yourself, the challenges and struggles that you have personally, and the challenges and struggles that you see your people have, you can observe them, or that your business experiences because your people are not flourishing, they're not thriving, they don't have a high sense of well-being. So dial in on that for yourself and your people, and think about how, again, that bleeds out into your finances. Where do you lose money because you're not performing at your best, or because your people aren't performing at their best because of various kinds of pain and challenge and struggle, physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, intellectually, or occupationally? Folks are struggling. Where does that show up? And how do you make the connection between those things that are kind of soft and fuzzy and hard to pin down, and the very real things that your accountant, your bookkeeper will tell you, hey, we need to talk about this report because we're losing money or we're not making money fast enough, and where does that show up in your people? And this is not about blaming you or your people, it's about getting insight. We want to slow down so we can pay attention so that we can make choices and move forward with purpose. So, the pattern that most leaders recognize: human strain, work misalignment, behavioral symptoms, business impact, leadership action. We talked about the human strain, and human strain often results or correlates with, is sensitive. Okay, sorry. There we go. Keep your finger off the button. Often correlates with work misalignment. People feel like they're not in the right spot, or they feel like they're not performing. We talked during the pandemic about quiet quitting. Quiet quitting was a lot of this kind of stuff, and it goes on today. You find yourselves probably on some days going, I'm just not going to do it today. And your people are the same way. And we don't want to blame, we don't want to point fingers, but we want to be able to support people and address those things in a timely way so that people can get the help that they need. Those behavioral symptoms show up, and we want to, again, address those because the business impact is what, as a business owner, you really care about. I know you care about your people, but you can't serve your people and you can't give your people employment if you're not supporting them and if the business isn't thriving. So, this is the time for the website. If you go to synchronouslife.com, get your smart devices out. Everybody gets to participate. This is going to be really helpful for you. You're going to see, if you scroll just a little bit down, you're going to see these cards. These are called human pain points. When you react before you think, when decisions feel heavier than they should, when your best people keep leaving, when your team isn't performing and you don't know why, when work bleeds into everything else, when you're succeeding by other people's standards but not your own standards. So pick one of those that resonates for you and just type in a couple of words. You don't have to do a whole paragraph. This is an exercise that you can dial in on at a later time. You can get your team to do this. You can get your leadership team to do this. I'm going to take a drink while you're working on that. And again, the first thing we need is insight. We need to have the data, be aware of the data, pay attention to the data, right? So that we can make some decisions about what we want to do. We need to be able to interpret that data. Just having the spreadsheets, just having the data isn't enough if we can't interpret it. So, what you named is data. There's a pain point, there's a well-being signal, there's a work pattern, and we can drill down to then a KPI. Hopefully you've got KPIs. You know what your key performance indicators are for your business, and both in kind of big picture, annual, this is what we want to accomplish this year, as well as quarterly, monthly, weekly, on a daily basis. Do you know what your RPAs are, what your revenue producing activities for that day are that are going to be most important? And sometimes that's pick up the phone and make the call. Sometimes that's take my team to Chicken and Pickle so that they can unwind, so that they can see each other, so that they can build relationships and rapport, so that when we get back into the thick of it the next week, they like each other better. And they're more relaxed and more calm and better able to show up for work. So being really able to pay attention to what it is you want to accomplish, and then working back to what are the signals your people are sending you, and what are the signals in your own life as a leader, as a business owner, what are those signals telling you? And how do those signals connect to those KPIs? It's not hard, but it's not obvious either. And it requires a way to look at it. So we have a dashboard. So all the things that I've just mentioned show up on this dashboard. I know it's too small for you guys to see. So we've got overall workforce health, we've got retention risk, we've got burnout risk, we've got employee NPS. How likely are your employees to tell other people that this is a great place to work, right? Eric just said he's looking for a new employee. How likely are the people that work with Eric to say, man, Eric's a great person to work with, and Heritage Ranch is a great place to work? If that's not a high score, that's a problem, and we can dial in on that. Team health, how healthy is your team, and what's the work fit score? How well do you align the people with their role? All the way from hiring. How clear are you, not just that do they have the ability to do the tasks, but is their culture fit? Does this person fit in our organizational culture? If we're bubbly and outgoing and big and loud, and somebody's really, really quiet and reserved, they may struggle some. And so you as a leader then have to adapt to say, okay, I need to dial it back a little bit with this person, and what do I need to do to help make sure this person gets the care and attention that they need? And again, these are not obvious things, they're not hard things, but you do need a conversation partner oftentimes to get to this. So over here you can see the priority actions. Where is manager coaching, burnout prevention, career pathing, and team trust reset? Where do those things show up? How do you decide which things we're going to do first? Again, this is what's the revenue producing activity for today? It may be having a coaching conversation with somebody, so that you can help them and support them, help them to feel seen so that they can show up in the workplace really feeling like these people care about me. They care not just that I'm making a sale, but they care about my life. And when I'm struggling, I can show up when I have a loss or just struggling in some other way. They're going to surround me and give me what I need in the way and at the level that I need. If you haven't seen the new Jennifer Lopez movie, it's not suitable for work, but it's pretty funny. And there's a lot of these sorts of dynamics of what's the culture and two people from a different culture, kind of like how we're going to behave in the workplace. Super funny illustrations. You've got your Synchronous Life domain profile. If you haven't done the Synchronous Life assessment, I encourage you to do that. How likely are your people to stick around? How long does your employee stay? Retention is super important. What does it cost you to find a new employee, to onboard that employee to the place where they are effective and successful? How those cards connect to the KPIs. The PFactor, this is the workplace fit that I was talking about. There's an assessment tool for this. And let's schedule a conversation. If any of this sparks for you as a leader or somebody else you know would benefit from a conversation like this, let's talk. Any questions?
I'm curious on your dashboard, where does that data come from? Does each employee have an assessment that feeds into this dashboard?
So we can do two things and any combination. So I've got assessments for a lot of these things, but some of you already use the assessments because you've had it from another place or your franchise likes it. So we pull that in and we have it's all customized. So there's the dashboard customized to your business. All right, thanks so much. Let me know.